Police work. I came to fight crime. I came to supervise the commissioners of police under my zone to make sure everywhere is peaceful. We must be organized. If you are a civilian, obey the law. If you don't obey the law, whatever your status will bring you down and will take you to court. If you are law-abiding, no problems. And then the misuse of my policemen, I will say no. If you're not entitled to policeman, if you have, I will draw.
Saka.
And if you insult my policeman, I will not take it lightly with you, I will prosecute you. You have to obey the law because the policeman on the street, the constable on the street represents us, the symbol of Nigeria. And represents me, represents the inspiration of police and the president of Nigeria.
Well, so much of a talk there that borders on rights, and one wonders what about the rights of the Nigerian, protection of the people. Well, he's speaking there, talking about troublemakers, that he will, in his words, bring them down. It comes to what we have just said in this particular session. What can the police do in the face of a glaring infringement of rights or fomenting of trouble on that particular day of election?
Really, the police are already, they have their standard instructions, election or no election. The acts, what constitutes crime in Nigeria is already defined. What constitutes crime in Nigeria is already defined, and every policeman is expected to be aware of what constitutes a crime. You can't just arrest anybody. What is trouble? In none of our law is any offense called trouble, cause trouble. Now you don't know what I'm saying, that intelligence is not being put in. What is trouble? I will arrest you for trouble. I will arrest you for insult. Now is trouble an offense under Nigerian law, under the criminal code, under the penal code? What is trouble?
Well, I'm sure that we can all know what trouble is when we
But you cannot arrest me. You cannot arrest me for trouble.
If you cause unrest, for instance, or
no court.
In some
if
areas.
You take anybody to court for the offense of trouble, no court will convict anybody for the offense of trouble. So you have to be specific.
We want to believe that trouble is a generic name for for all sorts of offenses. I mean, if someone says,
and that is what has been happening. What has been happening is that people have been, during elections like this, police will arrest people for trouble. And they will be arraigned in court for having caused trouble.
I mean,
then the evidence of the trouble caused, the police will not be able to bring witnesses to court. The police will not be able to bring evidence upon which the court can convene to court to show that the person has committed trouble.
Mr. Joseph-mbu, you are speaking, let's leave legal.
We should leave legal.
Just a moment.
Me as a lawyer.
I know. Let's leave legal finesse aside. If you see somebody causing trouble in an area, would you be able to identify that somebody is actually causing trouble, for instance? Unless, of course, we say we don't know the meaning of trouble.
Well, trouble is trouble. It's trouble. I mean, unrest. A lawyer would say breach of public order or public peace. As you said, let's leave law alone.
Doesn't that all fall under trouble? So if we see somebody breaching public order or public peace, that person can be arrested, right?
I will have expected the commissioner of police to speak and to make attempts to even enlighten. You see, there is communication. When you communicate, let communication be effective. The troubles, why don't you go ahead? I mean, why don't you go ahead and help the citizenry with the definition of what will amount to trouble, of what will amount to insulting your policemen? Define it. Then let them make attempts to educate the people that these are what we consider to be trouble, and are liable to arrest you. These are what we consider to be insulting our policemen. Because you see, there are many things you can do, and a particular policeman may take it as an insult, and another policeman in the same circumstance, we just you get it now? We just see it as nothing.
You're saying it's ambiguous.
It's general.
But let us go to, say, the statement. I don't know, before now,
Okay.
it's quite old now, the letter of Professor Bolaji Akinyemi,
Okay.
which is saying, or which is said that, he sees trouble either way. He sees trouble for either candidate that wins in terms of what happens in which section of the country. Do you agree with him? Did you see Professor Bolaji Akinyemi's letter?
To be honest with you, to be very honest with you, this election really, as it is going, face Nigeria, personally, with a choice between the devil and the deep blue sea or the deep Red Sea. That is in my own assessment. And in my own assessment, really, the process by which the presidential candidates emerge for the Nigerian state is faulty. And it is foundationally faulty. And really, because now let's look at Fashola, let's look at Obama. No, I've never met Fashola, I've never met Obama, but let's look at these two people. Now look at the level of intelligence they brought into government. The level of intelligence they brought into governance makes a lot of difference.
The current governor of Lagos State is not running for president.
I know he's not. No,
let me go back to that
letter. Look, we must say the truth. The truth may be bitter, but let's say it just in case the truth comes in handy some other time.
And what's the truth here?
The truth is, in this age, in this era, that Nigeria is considered to be a third world country. Is this not the time and the era for us to really reprogram the process by which candidates emerge to ensure that unless you have a minimum level of intelligence in governance in the way you do things, that you will not even emerge. Nigeria really is not in a fortunate position.
Let me get you correct.
Going towards this election.
Are you saying some of the leading candidates in this elections can't get your endorsement?
To be very, very honest with you, it is only the factor of Professor Yemi Osinbajo. That is it is Yemi Osinbajo vice presidential position that gives hope. That is the only person that gives hope, because he handled the Justice Ministry in Lagos before. And from what he did as the Justice Commissioner in Lagos State, and what he left behind, and the people he left behind in the Justice Ministry in Lagos State, you can see that there is hope. And I would have loved a situation where people like that, where people like the Minister of Agric in the Jonathan's administration. I would love a situation where more of these people become the majority, the norm in our corridor of power. Ideas move the world, ideas rule the world. Look, let us not expect miracles. Let us not just keep on chancing on luck. Let us not chance on no. Fashola has a preparation. Obama has a preparation. Will you say Jonathan has a preparation? Will you say Buhari has a preparation? Ideas rule the world. What is the idea contest?
So there should have been a third option for you.
There should be a third option. The third option is that the political parties should be asked to go back and redo the assignment and retake the education. You must present. You cannot keep on facing Nigerian electorates with the option of the devil and the deep Red Sea.
So what are the attributes you have seen in Mr. Additional, the Minister of Agric, and Osinbajo? Although you've highlighted Osinbajo, what are those attributes that you would want to see in the third option
intelligence, the deployment of intelligence. Oshibajo, as a commissioner for justice, in the deployment of intelligence, is second to nobody in the whole world.
You've said that much. So I said for someone like Mr. Additional, which you also mentioned.
Additional, even he has a roadmap, and he's working with his roadmap, and we are getting concrete results. It is not, and I think that's the only good thing about this administration, about this Jonathan administration. That man, that Additional, and really, it is my opinion that if PDP has put up somebody like the present minister, PDP will have won this election so decisively and seriously. That is my personal opinion.
Well, I don't know if that, was what...
That is my personal opinion. You asked me to stop talking like a lawyer and talk...
I was actually referring to definition of trouble, but, that was not where I was going to with the conversation. I was trying to draw your attention to the letter and, whether or not we had taken steps, because what he wanted, what Professor Bolaji Akinyemi wanted from that letter, what he recommended was that the two candidates be made to sign an agreement. You said you agreed with him that, the possibility of violence was high as well, some of the things he said in that letter, but they've also carried out his recommendations. Do you think that we've gone down, now that we've carried out the recommendation, are we assured that we will still see non-violent polls?
You cannot be. You cannot be sure, because even in the last election, I am sure Buhari did not ask anybody. Buhari did not ask anybody to go and start fighting. I'm sure Buhari did not do that. Well, you are Lagos people. I lived in the north for 20 years. I live in Jos for 20 years, and really, if you know the mindset, I'm sorry. The way, if you know, I don't know. The way trouble starts in the north, you will not be able, it just happens. It just happens. You will just be somewhere, everywhere is peaceful. And the thing just explodes. And it's because of, now it's difficult. Troubles don't happen in the south, in the west, down here, the way it does in the north. So deciding how many of them are, how many of the people, how many of the youths in the north are aware of this peace pact between Buhari and Jonathan, and as Buhari made efforts to communicate this peace pact that he has signed and the implication of the peace pact, has he been able to communicate it to them? They are not, as I'm talking to you, they are not aware of the peace pact. The peace pact is for me, and the peace pact is known by me and you that watches CNN, that watches television. The peace pact is not known. Have they distributed the peace pact sign in many languages in the north, so that the Hausa man who cannot read English but can read Arabic can read the peace pact, so that if anybody wants to cause trouble, please look at this in Arabic, where our own presidential candidate says that if this thing happens, don't worry, we are going to court. Now, will things like that help? Will it help if the peace pact signed by Buhari and Jonathan is translated into different languages, and so that the groundnut seller in Kano can even read it in his own language? That please, don't fight. Don't fight. This is the way we will handle your grievances. We will take your grievances to court. There's no need. Has that been done? The peace pact has been signed. Where is the peace pact? Where is the peace pact? The peace pact. Where is it domiciled now?
Well, anyway, I think
the contents.
We've said that much, Mr. Joseph-mbu. We'd like to thank you so very much, Oluwasegun Joseph-mbu. He's a lawyer, and he said, well, he would prefer a way that even the National Orientation Agency and INEC can do more of sensitization towards this particular election. And of course, he is also thinking of a process whereby even if we're tilting towards the two-party state, we should also have a third option. Once again, we'd like to thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Sunrise Zilla takes a moment now. We'll return shortly. Stay with us.